What if I told you there's a book so raw and honest about our darkest secrets that 3 different governments banned it? Today, we're diving into a story that challenges everything we think we know about hope, survival, and what it truly means to be human. Before we get rolling, here's a little joke. Why did the book go to jail? Because it couldn't keep its secrets under wraps. Now that we've broken the ice, let's jump right in. Have you ever been so surprised by a twist in a movie that you couldn't look away? This story starts in a future that feels both familiar and utterly strange. In the year 2397, humanity was at the top of its game. Think of gleaming cities that reached into the sky, advanced technology lighting up every corner, and dreams as big as the universe itself. Life was vibrant, and every day promised a new beginning. Then, in one heart-stopping moment, everything changed in this far-off future. An unseen force known as the dimensional strike sweeps through the solar system. 1 minute, our planets are full of life and color. The next, they're reduced to tiny, flat marks, almost like smudges on a page. It's as if an invisible hand pressed down on the entire cosmos, erasing details we once cherished. The force twists and bends space and time, leaving behind ruined cities and silent, flattened orbits. The result is both awe-inspiring and deeply tragic. A reminder that even the brightest dreams can shatter in a heartbeat. Here's a light-hearted moment to break the tension. What did one planet say to the other when it got squished? I feel a little flat today. Even with a groan-worthy joke, the weight of that cosmic collapse lingers. The stark contrast between our once thriving solar system and its sudden collapse forces us to ask, what could cause such a drastic change? The answer leads us straight to a single, pivotal character, Cheng Xin. Now, let's take a detour for a quick laugh. Why did Cheng Xin bring a ladder to work? Because she wanted to reach new heights, even if she wasn't quite sure how to hold on when the world shook. Cheng Xin is an aerospace engineer who never imagined she'd end up holding the fate of millions. In this chaotic future, she has chosen to be the sword holder, a title that sounds like it belongs to a fierce warrior in a blockbuster movie. But here's the twist. Instead of being a battle-hardened hero, Cheng Xin is gentle and kind, with a heart that sometimes makes her too soft for the harsh reality around her. Imagine having a decision that could save or doom everyone you know. In the story, there's a small switch, a simple button, that has the power to stop a dangerous plan. When that crucial moment arrives, Cheng Xin hesitates. Her warmth and compassion, qualities we usually celebrate, become a heavy burden. We've all been stuck in a moment where fear or uncertainty stopped us from acting. For Cheng Xin, that one moment of pause meant that hope slipped away and the chance to change destiny was lost. Let's lighten things up with a quick quip. How many decision makers does it take to save the world? Just one, but only if they're not too busy second-guessing themselves. It's a feeling we can all relate to, even if the stakes here are on a cosmic scale. But the story doesn't stop with that single, heartbreaking decision. The book's message is so powerful and raw that it struck a nerve with some governments, leading to its ban in 3 different countries. Now, you might wonder, why would anyone ban a book? Well, in this case, it isn't about violence or shock value. It's about a truth that cuts deep, a truth that exposes how our very nature, our kindness and hesitancy, might be our biggest weakness. Authorities felt that letting such ideas spread would shake the foundations of society. Imagine secret meetings in dimly lit rooms where officials hurriedly tear up copies of a book, desperate to keep a dangerous truth hidden. Headlines might scream, "Truth too scary to be told." And that, my friends, is the power of this story. Here's a little joke to keep the mood light. Why did the government ban the book? Because it knew too much and wouldn't shut up. Even with the humor, the weight of that censorship reminds us that the book isn't just a tale from a distant future. It's a mirror reflecting our deepest insecurities and flaws. Now, let's dig a little deeper into Cheng Xin's journey. Her role as the sword holder means she is expected to make tough, life-or-death decisions for all of humanity. Instead of taking a hard, unyielding stance, her decisions are clouded by compassion. That very trait, which we often consider a strength, becomes a critical vulnerability when every second counts. Think back to a time when you had to choose between doing what felt right and doing what you knew was necessary. For Cheng Xin, that moment came with a simple button, an action that could have set things right. But her gentle nature led her to hesitate, and that hesitation echoed across the universe, costing humanity dearly. Now let's pause for a quick laugh. What do you call a hero who can't make up their mind? A maybe hero. It's a silly joke, but it shows that sometimes uncertainty isn't as heroic as we like to think. And that's exactly what makes Cheng Xin's story so compelling. Her very humanity is both her gift and her curse. And then comes the twist that will leave you reeling. Just when the situation seems dire, and it looks like all hope is lost, the survivors of this cosmic disaster are revealed. But they aren't the victorious heroes you might expect. Instead, they're trapped in a tiny, fragile pocket universe, a kind of lifeboat that is more of a prison than a haven. Think of it as being rescued only to find that your escape route is a cramped, dark room where time and freedom are twisted beyond recognition. This pocket universe is a bittersweet refuge, a place that protects life but also confines it to endless isolation. Here's a light moment to contrast the darkness. Why did the survivors throw a party in the pocket universe? Because when you're stuck in a tiny space, every little moment of fun feels like a miracle. Even with the humor, this twist forces us to ask a deep question. What is the value of survival if it means living in a state of constant loneliness and uncertainty? So why does all of this matter to us today? This isn't just a futuristic fable. It's a story that holds a mirror up to our own lives. Every day, we face decisions that seem small but can change everything. We often choose comfort over courage, kindness over decisiveness. But what happens when those very choices lead us down a path of regret? The book challenges us to think about whether our natural empathy, which we usually celebrate, might sometimes be our downfall when we're forced to make hard decisions. Let me share a quick joke before we wrap up this section. Why did the decision cross the road? To finally take action instead of just standing there. It's a silly play on words, but it reminds us that action, decisive, sometimes tough action, is key to changing our future. This story draws on ideas from some of the boldest science fiction out there, like Cixin's The Three-Body Problem and Death's End. These works ask big questions about our place in the universe and force us to consider whether our best traits might sometimes be our worst weaknesses. Online communities, from forums to YouTube discussions, are buzzing with debates about the choices made by characters like Cheng Xin. Critics from outlets, such as the New Yorker and Los Angeles Times, have noted how these themes challenge us to rethink what it means to be truly brave. Now, let's look at what we can learn from all this. The book shows that when truth is too raw for those in power, governments may go to extreme lengths, like banning the book, to keep it hidden. This is not just about censorship. It's about protecting a way of life that refuses to face its darker truths. When ideas are silenced because they reveal uncomfortable realities, it tells us that our society might be more fragile than we think. It pushes us to ask, are we brave enough to accept all the truths about who we are? Let's connect these cosmic themes back to our everyday lives. Think about a time when you had to make a tough choice, a moment where the right path wasn't clear. Did you have the courage to act, or did you hesitate because you cared too much? Cheng Xin's story is set on a grand, cosmic scale, but it echoes those very human moments we all face. It reminds us that while our kindness is a beautiful part of who we are, sometimes being too soft might hold us back when the stakes are incredibly high. Before we finish, here's another little laugh. What do you get when you mix cosmic disaster with indecision? A universe that's always a step behind. It's a light joke, but it shows that even in a story as vast as this one, the little moments of humor help us remember that being human means we are imperfect. And that's okay. I hope this journey has made you think about the choices you make and the hidden truths about our nature. This story isn't just about far-off galaxies or futuristic battles. It's about our own hearts and minds, our struggles with decision-making, and the courage it takes to face the truth head-on. Every day, we have the power to change our future, even if that means making a choice that feels too hard at first. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on this deep dive into a story that challenges us to see life in a new light. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever been caught between what feels right and what you know must be done? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your stories and ideas make this conversation so rich and meaningful. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more discussions that explore big ideas in a friendly, approachable way. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you're always updated on our next adventure into thought-provoking stories. Remember, even when the world feels like it's crumbling, Every ending carries the promise of a new beginning. Keep asking questions, keep seeking the truth, and never be afraid to face the parts of yourself that challenge you. Until next time, thanks for watching, stay curious, and take care. That's it for today's journey into a story that dares to expose our darkest truths. I hope it inspires you to look a little deeper at your own choices and the world around you. See you in the next video.